just for Scream.
Yes.
There's not really anyone else where I'm going to be like specifically excited for, but Scream just makes that agent look better than maybe anyone other than Niso.
Well, we haven't seen that for a little while as well. Starting it out, fittingly.
There you go, see? Best agent in the game.
Because we've jumped in, split, attack side for Team Liquid, and a 5v4 to kick things off. They're going to slow the pace completely. That initial mid-peak, there's no intention behind it. They're going to start shifting towards B main. Looks like we've only got one player on the B side, but still 3 close by for FNATIC.
Yeah, they at least have the right players in at the right time. Now the Viper's going to make things a little bit more awkward to push through. The timing's not bad, but the trade's still go in favor as Link is able to find himself a couple of kills. Scream still going strong. And well, rotation from Magnum a little bit far away.
Yeah, it seemed like a little bit of a misread from FNATIC that the players in Liquid hadn't pushed out just yet, hoping maybe that wall was put down as a fake. They were going to try to sneak through, move in towards B main, and you saw Breach was setting up a flash to pop in to allow that peek to happen. Unfortunately, well, Team Liquid were already on the site, so they just easily traded that out. Took the site, took the round, as it is now 1-0.
Yeah, this is still a map where I would favor Liquid very, very heavily. I think going into the next one, I believe we have Icebox coming up second, and then I'd do the reverse. Like, I think that's the thing with the home ground. You're going to get 2 maps off the bat where realistically one team should be incredibly favored, and then we start getting the much closer matchups from then onwards. I'll also just be interested to see what FNATIC are going to be playing, because as of right now, it seems like they've been using a randomizer to pick a lot of their agents.
Yeah, and I'm not too surprised. Again, we gave the caveat coming into this event. Your teams like Gambit, Ascend, and FNATIC are going to be coming in trying to hide a lot of their strats. They don't want to give things away here because, sure, there's a lot of money on the line, but for them, Champions is going to be the end goal. And that gives teams like Liquid an opportunity to potentially cause some of those upsets and make it deeper in the tournament than we would normally expect out of them. That said, a FNATIC Liquid matchup is always going to be a tight game.
Just wanted to take the scenic route a little bit there.
Sometimes you gotta let the game breathe, man. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good. Big push out of FNATIC, though. They're coming down mid, 4 players, just with Classics looking to try and use their numbers to their advantage. So far, hasn't worked out too well, losing their A-Lurk that was coming down through sewers. But Link's in a lot of trouble, and he will get dropped immediately. Only a Ghost on the floor. I'd be much more concerned if Scream died, but of course he's got that disengage of the dismiss.
Yeah, and he's got his brother alongside him as well, Navira, just to earn up a couple of extra orbs, of course, for Scream and Empress. It gives them a few extra dismisses, I suppose.
On Scream, that's very dangerous, to be honest.
I don't know. I feel like
insta-heals, the ability to dismiss and heal and go invisible. I don't know. I'm not messing with
I feel like the way it works for Scream, though, is either his opponent's dead or he's dead by the time anything like that goes to happen.
That's actually how most duels happen, to be honest. I've noticed that.
I would say
take
that
a duel, either I'm dead or my
I don't think he needs the Empress.
I suppose you're at gold, right, Tom? So, like, when you take a duel,
definitely.
you just, like, you spray at them, they spray at you, you both run out of ammo.
I'm not gold. You're mixing me up with Dinko. Like, Dinko's the one.
Sorry.
Actually, you know what? He's silver. Never mind.
Gold
even
now,
lower.
right.
Yeah. Part of the Plat gang, you know.
There's a limit for casters, right? You have to be a certain rank.
Oh yeah, I'm for hosts. I'm for hosts,
I've heard.
because I'm immortal at heart.
Ah, I see. Okay.
That's what it is. As long as you believe.
Yeah, you're about as toxic as my immortal teammates.
That's true. That is true. What, Hypoc?
That said, Tom, I will say I've never seen anyone rage quit a game of Mario Kart before. Until I met you.
Neither have I. I don't know what you're talking about.
You've not seen it because you're that guy.
I witnessed it because I was there.
Oh, it was a good day. It was a good day. Well, coming into this round, it is a very, very slow approach, and we expected that out of Team Liquid. You just look at how they're positioned, and it is heavy defaults into a late mid play. And they're currently trying to fight for that little bit of control in towards the vents, it looked like. But there's a lot of players out of FNATIC here as well. A 3-player A stack is not normal at all. I think this might catch Liquid off guard if they do decide to go A, which at the moment it does kind of look like they will.
No dash online for Durka anymore, so the risks he can take are a little bit diminished. This duel could actually work out for Soulcast. The timing's going to be everything, and Bob peeks in, he's got Mystic alongside him. Easy early pick for FNATIC, and the time now starting to tick down. Now, they haven't spotted anyone else around the angle, and Scream currently lurking through mid could start to try and cause them problems, but I'm more just worried about the clock at this point, and in fact, I think FNATIC is starting to wonder if they're actually coming in this direction as well. That shot from Doma was dirty.
Now, what a shot. Eliminating Navira right away means that you're not going to have that Viper utility for the late round, but Link does a good job of at least making it costly for FNATIC. A 4v3 retake to be set up as the spike goes down. And Team Liquid have got some decent positions. You look at the control that they have towards Heaven, it's going to cost a lot of time for FNATIC as they come back in for this retake. They've got to be super slow. The stars are down as well. It's going to buy even more time for this Liquid side. But Boaster ready to blitz out. In fact, it's a fault line in hand, not a flash. That's going to give them the vision. They see Doma. Liquid Scream takes him down right away and then dashes over towards his teammate with the dismiss. Still, though, they're just trapped in here. All the utility coming for them. Time of the essence for FNATIC, really. They've got to pick up the pace on walking through. Luckily, Magnum has the off angle, and they'll quickly deal with Link to put this round on the board. And they got plenty of time there to get that defuse.
I think it was actually the patience of Magnum there that wins it for them. Because there was a little bit of an overpeak pushing out initially. You could see Scream's angle wasn't really checked at all as they went to go through the left-hand side, and he's able to get back to the teammate. But Magnum was just patient, waiting for someone to try and get a little bit more aggressive on the other flank. So 2-1. Still not an awful round for Liquid. They take a couple of players with them and they'll be able to buy back into this. More importantly as well, because of the early kills and plants that Link has been gathering up, he's got his Rolling Thunder, which is one of those ultimates that it's so impactful on this map just because how tight a lot of the angles actually are.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, with the exception of Fracture now, I would say this is going to be your favorite map to play it on. Boombot coming towards Mystic. He's going to get that destroyed right away. I'm curious if FNATIC are playing heavy towards the A side.
Wait. Go back to that cam. Go back to Yumpy's cam. Where did he had Roger Federer standing behind him.
What?
Was that just a glitch or have I gone mad? I'm sure there was... he just got Roger Federer in his background.
What? Why?
I don't know. Why is that there?
Is this a reference? Am I just not getting it?
No, I don't know. Maybe he just really likes Roger Federer. That's really random.
What is that trap wire? I mean, you can just jump over that. And I think Boaster wants them to. I think he's beckoning them in so they can maybe try to sneak through, but they're not falling for it. Instead, breaking it, walking right on in, and Boaster's going to be in trouble. A fight that is under a lot of pressure in as these players drop down below. Now so many angles to clear as he comes on out. Sulka's at least deleted, but Scream's waiting for him. And of course, Scream wins that fight, spots Magnum on the backside, but Magnum's still good for one. Sprayed down through the boxes to 18 HP. It's only a matter of time. He gets tagged up again, but somehow with a sliver of health survives. And a 4v1 leaving Navarro all alone.
What?
Exactly look doable. What? I don't even know what that is. But I'm hungry now.
That's a lot of cake.
It is a lot of cake. I've been trying to lose weight. I've been staying away from cake. I can't even escape it in Valorant.
Oh, God. The worst thing is he's in the light. It's such a bright background that almost he's sat in the dark.
Genuinely, most of the light on his screen there was from his Viper wall. His screen being green. 2-2. Then we jump on in, and look, FNATIC are doing well here on the defensive side, building up some of those rounds. I want to see a lot from them. I want to see a strong defense just to really get out the gate because they looked a little bit shaky yesterday, and I feel like Liquid haven't really had the same kind of trials and tribulations that the FNATIC roster have in this tournament, and it is very important to yet again say that FNATIC not likely to play this. Like, if we go to champs, I would say almost every single map will look completely different than what it does here. Yeah,
unless something here works amazingly.
True, yes.
Then maybe they'll be like, actually, we can just kind of use that.
It'd be like a secondary or tertiary lineup, yeah.
Yeah, depending on how things go. That's the thing. I never. Although I don't believe FNATIC are going to show us too much, I will never believe that they're not going to learn things from what they're currently doing.
Have you ever seen a setup like this in the early round? One player on B and 4A up in heaven. I mean, maybe on an eco, sure, you'll see that come through, but these guys have rifles right now, and they are heavily stacking the A side. It almost feels like they know Liquid really like to go towards A right now, and they are actively trying to counter that.
Yeah, they've also got so much utility on that B side that they'll be able to delay for an awful long time. Like, you're going to have the initial spot from Magnum, then you've got the star to either smoke or pull them in as well. And now they're just going to clear the corner of the utility. Sokka's actually still got one there while running away. Although Boaster, I don't think he's going to mind too much getting a kill with an aftershock.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. Sulka's on the 1 HP, already starting to rotate, and the rest of the team moving as well towards the B side. They're going slow, though. They're going very slow. Of course, not aware of whether there's players already pushed down on mid, pushed out of B. They've got to clear everything. They had no map control with the exception of A, and now with 30 seconds left on the clock, they have to just take the gamble and make that rotate very quickly to B. Luckily, FNATIC have just stayed in position thus far. They might just run out into a pretty open B site. Of course, still on that side is Magnum, and he has all his utility left. 15 seconds. They need to go quick. If Magnum can just delay them a moment moving out of main to plant that, he will win the round single-handedly. 6 seconds. They need to plant now. If Magnum cancels this, the round is over already, but he's going to sit in position, take a couple of picks, and the rest of the team rallies around him, leaving Yampy all alone. And with a 1v4 and very little HP and not exactly the best weapon for it, it was a foregone conclusion. 3 rounds for FNATIC.
It honestly is so impressive to me how good Magnum is under pressure. As I said, we saw a couple of rounds ago, just the patience that he has. Like, they basically waited until, like, I think 16 seconds left while nades were falling into the site. He goes, now I'll pop my cage.
Yeah.
Now I need a little bit of cover. Now I need to delay them a little bit. And that's so valuable in a player, especially in your Sentinel, to not just have those moments of panic where you just, I've got to pop everything early. I've got to make sure that nobody can get into the site. I've got to stop the plant. As you were sort of saying, he stops the plant, he wins the round. Well, he doesn't stop the plant. Everybody on his team survives and they boost their own economy. It's like just those split decisions that he manages to make makes it so hard to play against him. And so far, even in this tournament, I actually think he's been their best player.
It's very easy to make those knee-jerk decisions, to go in for those aggressive fights in that position, because you know, hey, if I drop the plant, it doesn't matter if I die. I get traded instantly. If I get that one shot off.
For sure.
Of course, very different on the B side, having that box that's impenetrable, very difficult to actually get around there when they have teammates with them. He made the right call 100%, but I'm saying a lot of players would have been tempted into making that decision and might have thrown the round away.
For sure, for sure. And but again, it would have been a rifle. It would have been so much more over to Liquid if it hadn't worked out for him. This round, though, a little bit more of a slow approach once again for Liquid. Just taking over control, obviously looking to try and find any trips that are left there, but for now, they're still doing the same setup. Because they haven't necessarily been pushed off of it, I think they're much more comfortable taking risk over into A, and just the reliance that they currently have on Magnum, although I believe Boaster is now backing him up.
Yeah, a little bit of support towards the back of the side this time around, not the 4-player stack on A, but I think that might be because the read was there from Liquid that they were playing light on B previously, and now maybe they'll try to execute in. FNATIC seem to be ready for that. With Magnum down below, the star is going to force him out of position. You cannot stand there. You can't turn your back on Scream either, as he proves instantly. Now they know Boaster's backside as well. The information, easily workable. Rolling Thunder buying him some space, some time. He is really trying to stay alive on that backside, but Mystic goes down trying to get in to help him. Now Doma, the Vandal, not going to be able to spray it down. No one can support Boaster, who falls back sight, and Liquid have easily overrun B.
Yeah, they played that really well. I think they were waiting to try and bait out that Rolling Thunder. You see how far back the remainder of Liquid were actually playing. Even though they were deep within the site for a minute, they actually all fall out. None of them get hit by the Rolling Thunder and run straight back in to just put the pressure onto Boaster again. Boaster played it fine. They just played it better.
Yeah, absolutely. They were aware of what he was doing, one step ahead the entire way. And that's what Liquid looked like, at least in this round. But before that, FNATIC had a read on them. And it almost felt like starting this round out as well. They knew what Liquid were going to do. They played for it, but it didn't quite work out. Yeah,
I think the timing of Scream actually going before they pop the star, it's one of those things that you see a lot of teams do. Like, we've had it for years and years in other FPSs where you throw the flash to bait people in, but you're actually peeking before the flash goes off, so that then the player's not going to be looking. You're trying to avoid whatever piece of utility they put down. So they can just use Scream because if he gets one kill, he's straight back out of there and none of the utility affects him anyway. So very well-structured round from Team Liquid, and we're now sort of waiting to see. Oh, actually, we're going to get a pause. Mini, he wants some words.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Doma seems very serious right now. He is focused in, listening to his coach. As no doubt FNATIC are going to have a little bit of a deep discussion around how to play this one. I think one of the main problems for them is the fact that Liquid have almost got a free round. If they Rolling Thunder into Viper's Pit, they get a site, they get a post plant, and it's very difficult to fight back in. Finding a solution to that for FNATIC right now, do you play outside of the Rolling Thunder? So if they pop it, you're not going to be losing players to it. Do you try to aggressively stop it? There's a lot of things that FNATIC can do with their util as well. Having an Astra, having a Cypher, and of course having that Sky to really slow them down. Maybe even a few breach stuns going in.
Have you got any cat
stopping potential.
I know you have a Viper outfit. Do you have any cat ears?
No, sadly I don't have any cat ears, Tom.
If you were sent some cat ears, would you wear them?
If FNATIC want to send me some cat ears.
I know the V1 guys, they've got the cat ears as well.
They do? Yeah, I don't think I'd wear them.
Oh, really?
Purely because I don't think I could represent a North American region. North American team.
Well,
Nothing against V1. Love the dudes.
To be fair, you could wear them at Champions because you're not really repping V1 because they're not there.
Yeah, I suppose coming into semifinals, we want to NA teams anyway, so it'll all be fine.
That is true. There you go. Then you can wear your lovely cat ears, and you're not really. You're almost saying like a goodbye to them.
Yeah, we'll have EMEA, Korea, maybe some Southeast Asia, you know,
or just EMEA.
or just EMEA.
I guess it depends how the groups are done
that's
this
it.
time.
It's
you
because
know,
of seeding and stuff. We'll end up having. Obviously,
they make us eliminate ourselves.
exactly.
That's
That's the only way EMEA loses is by eliminating themselves. Now, playing outside of the Rolling Thunder, one of the things we brought up, and look at FNATIC, nobody on the A side. They're giving up complete control, trying to play retake and fight in from heaven. It's a good call versus this kind of an old setup, but now we'll start to see some of the problems we were talking about, especially with Magnum going down. That's Showstopper online. But there's the Rolling Thunder at the start of the round, there's the Viper Pit after. Now they've got solid post plans to play in, and the Seekers have already been used up, which seemed like a little bit of a waste to me.
We've got Yumpy trying his best to survive here, but picking him off actually makes this a little bit more interesting. They've removed the players at least outside of the site, and now they've got to try and deal with the ones within the pit. Now the first point of contact is going to be the Tiger, which will at least spot a couple of players out, but whether they can actually deal with them is a different ball game altogether, and someone's going to have to try and either just spam through this pit or find something alongside it. In fact, they're even going to throw in a showstopper. They really are just closing the door on FNATIC in this round, not allowing them out of this site, and the spam through is even going to kill off Boaster. So many ultimates committed here from Liquid, and you know what? It's going to get them around.
I guess Solkas learned a lesson there as well. Don't spray inside a Viper's pit with a Vandal. It's not a good call. You maybe hit them, but they'll definitely hit you on those tracers. 4 rounds on the board for Team Liquid, I have to say. Overall, the way things have been going for this attack side, they keep on just grinding these rounds out. They're going to look damn good when it comes to second half. FNATIC need to find a solution here and now. And the good thing is that was a round 1 for Liquid with 3 ultimates used, with a Viper's Pit,
yeah,
with a Showstopper, with a Rolling Thunder. Those are incredibly high-impact ultimates. Now they don't have those, and so we'll see how they do in a more traditional round, let's say, and up against Durka's Operator.
Yeah, he had it in the previous round. I think maybe they were hoping they could do a little bit more damage to the economy. Not going to connect the shot, but he will escape. He's going to go back for more, and you know what? Scream was ready for that one, so isn't going to manage much. In fact, Scream has just gone walking through. He's taken full control of the B side. Soulcast is lost trying to push into mid, but Scream's position could be everything here, because I don't know if they're going to expect him to be here.
They almost certainly won't. It looks like Durka's a little bit conscious of this, though. He's holding the close angle, but not walking out to retake that control, even with the player in heaven watching out. But now I see attack go down, and I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Viper wall up. That sort of robs the information away. Like, at this point, they could have just walked out.
Yeah.
Scream could be here, so they'll be a little bit more conscious of it, you would imagine. Right about now. They'll try to get the jump on him. There's the first, and oh, the dismiss saves his life as well. He is out of there. Oh, somehow the second shot not connecting either. I don't know how Scream is still alive at this stage. What I do know is it's a 3v3 retake for FNATIC, but they have plenty of ultis to use, still not very high impact ones. They can't really open around for you, so this is going to be a scrappy fight back in.
I think they're waiting at least for the smoke out the back to fade, hoping they can potentially find someone looking to come in on the flank, but it isn't there. The Cosmic Divide also not really going to help them too much because there's 2 players up close, so they have to try and clear these angles, and they haven't actually spotted for Scream. They're going to scan for him just moments later. The Neural Theft will reveal the final player, and they'll have plenty of time to get that defusal. I don't mind the setup from Liquid. I like the idea. Scream just trying to almost bait them in, but the Neural Theft, for once, was the game changer. Even though he did also kill someone.
Yeah, I don't
think he would have shot them if it wasn't for the Neural Theft. I think he would have let them walk past.
Not at that moment. Not at that moment. Yeah, he would have waited a second. Sure.
And then I believe Scream would have won that. Really. I believe he would have won
Theft saved it, yeah. Oh, look, a message from Kukuka instantly. It's the second it happens.
It's amazing how she's done that because there's a delay on this stream.
I know, yeah. Just hacked into
she's
the live
always
feed.
watching.
4-4. We're tied up. And Tom, I gotta say, for FNATIC, coming into this round, after the previous, going their way decently enough, they win this one, I'm starting to have a lot of faith in them. Because they're playing an off comp right now. Like, this is a tough one to play with, and, well, Dome is falling right away. Scream's early skirmishes have been on point so far.
Yeah, it's also one of those things where I understand trying to, like, okay, let's ignore that. That's a distraction even for Soulcast himself. they've still garnered an awful lot of control. They've used that early aggression to almost try and get FNATIC to fight elsewhere. They will kill off Scream, but soulcast, excuse me, just within the smoke, around the smoke, just finding headshots here and there, and I think this round is already over.
Yeah, it started out with a great nade from soulcast, obviously very intentional. He naded behind him. Why would he nade there if he'd already walked up, you know? 300 IQ. Well, Dirk has dropped Navera, but I don't think they're going for this. Running away towards the B site to save these weapons, and FNATIC will at least have that operator coming through to the next, because by the looks of it, Liquid are not looking to hunt them down. They're happy to just gain this round, put 5-4 on the board.
Yeah, and this is starting to worry me for FNATIC more so because these back and forward rounds, they do a lot of damage to the defensive side more so because you don't have the extra credits you get from plants, etc. Obviously, you can save a little bit more, but the other thing as well is we, again, look at this map being slightly more defensive. Like, in fact, out of all the maps in the game, this is probably the one where you expect the most defensive rounds to actually come up. So I do start to worry a bit. Obviously, I think the composition from Liquid is one that does allow for a fair amount in the attack. They don't technically have a Sentinel player, but with Astra, Breach, and Viper, I think all of that is going to be filled. And also, you then have that aggressive duo of soulcast and Scream, who I guarantee are going to win them a couple of rounds on the defensive side. So this is already starting to look a little bit shaky for FNATIC.
Yeah, definitely not the way you want things to go. I think at the same time, I'll give credit to FNATIC for losing the pistol, still being up 5-4. They are definitely fighting for it. They're not down and out just yet, but yeah, their buy rounds, they have to find a little bit more to work with. And normally we say towards the end of the half, that's where the attacking side normally comes out and starts to look a lot better because they're feeling you out the whole time. They're trying to sense exactly how that defensive side is playing, and then they get to really exec in on it. I will say FNATIC setups have changed a decent bit, but now it seems to be defaulting back towards just completely giving up this mid control. Team Liquid have just walked up and found it the majority of the rounds, and this time you can see that they're very conscious that FNATIC are not playing because they are running up here right at the start of the round and looking to seize that space.
Yeah, they're checking for any utility, just waiting to see if they can bait out anything from FNATIC, but again, they're holding on to a lot of that utility very early on. We've seen a slight change in where they're actually placing down the trips, but again, these are such classic positions that soulcast is just using minute pieces of utility to counter it. And again, we're going to see Seekers popped, and although it gives them some early information, they'll now know that the likelihood is they're leaning in towards the A site. There's so much time left on the clock that Liquid could still change things up.
Oh, they definitely could, but they like the A side. We've seen this from them again and again, and I see Breach down in sewers lining up that fault line for them to push into heaven and take Durka down. Another missed operator shot. This is not looking good for Durka. Let's see if Mystic can recover it, and he absolutely can't. Now things for FNATIC are looking pretty grim. In fact, Doma fights out. He flashes through the smoke, regains sight control, and falls shortly after. And at this stage, another save is on the cards for FNATIC. Liquid are building up these attacking rounds again and again. And even pushing to 6, they've already gotten more than enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd like this setup currently as much for FNATIC. Like, especially on the A site, that looked like a domino effect setup. Like, mainly they needed Doma to completely defend off the ropes. If not, they're surrounded. Yeah. And it didn't help the Durka that missed another operator shot. He's been having a bit of a rough time with it so far, which is surprising. He's normally one of the most consistent operator players in the entirety of the scene. So the fact that he's having a quiet match is definitely a worry. But yeah, as said, like Mystic knew from that point, I've got to either kill all the people in front of me or somehow turn around and kill all the people behind me. Doma, after being forced off the angle, left Durka in a spot where he had to kill 2 players with an operator, which is not an easy thing to do. Even if he gets the first, it's tough. So I don't like setups where it's so reliant on, like, this shot has to be hit, otherwise everyone's dead.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Look at Team Liquid now, 6-4, constantly seizing mid for free. I have to say, it is not a normal setup from FNATIC.
It's reminding me of Angel
and stuff, but yeah, but see, Angel does it when teams are trying to hold it. That's the thing. He will sneak up there and seize it, but FNATIC are literally playing on site. They have 2 players on B, 3 players on A most of the rounds. This time, little different. They want to fight for heaven control. This is the round that they haven't stacked up A like they normally do, and Liquid walk out on A. Seize it for free. They've burned up a lot of utility in the process. Their Cosmic Divide, their Viper Wall's up. They've used nades, they've used flashes. It doesn't matter, though, because they get the plants, and now they can hold on to the post plants. Durka, though, doing well to start with, certainly not to finish with.
Yeah, they've actually switched things up. Now they no longer have the Viper's Pit. They've gone for a much more passive hold of the site. A couple of players waiting to try and deny ramp control because a retake without it, it's nigh on impossible. It's going to make things incredibly difficult for them. And Navira, well, he's having his cake and he's eating it too.
Yeah, most definitely. This Operator Viper play, not something you see every single day, but certainly something I'm happy to see this time around. He'll be caught right off the bat, but Doma traded out. Yampy up close will be caught, but time is too low. Rolling Thunder still online. They've got to get in there right here and now, and Mystic's going to be left alone to try and make it work. Link shuts him down quickly to put 7 for Team Liquid. Looking to push up to 8 by the end of it, and then with the way things have been going, I'm believing heavily, because they still have that Rolling Thunder to start out this round, Tom, and that's a big advantage to have for a team that so far hasn't really needed those kind of advantages to win rounds.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that combo earlier of the Viper's Pit alongside it, and they're 1 orb away. So if they just fight for 1 orb, they basically have that exact same execute. It's something that works on both sides of the map as well, so it's not like they can't use that going into B and just make it an impossible retake again. So I almost think FNATIC need to try and be a little bit more aggressive in this one, just to try and deny some of that space. And I feel bad for them because they've gone for a gamble once more, and they've gone on the wrong side of the map again.
Yep, Rolling Thunder comes in, knocks all the players out of B, the 2 that were there, and then, as you said, the gamble towards the A side, well, it ain't really paying off. FNATIC seemed in the first 5 rounds to have a decent read on how Liquid were playing, but since then, they have been well and truly lost. Viper's Pit activated, that's good post plant already, and the plant will be easily found. From here, FNATIC have Rolling Thunder to get back in, but they don't have Mystic or Durka to do it. I mean, even fighting into this Viper's Pit is going to be incredibly difficult if you manage to hit them all with the Rolling Thunder, and there's a lot of space for these players to move to. None of them managed to avoid it, but even still, there's a stun. Rolling Thunder's now no longer in effect, they're just about to fade, and these players are super low from the Viper's Pit. Absolutely easy for Team Liquid. Textbook play, and 8 rounds on the attack on Split. And in case you don't know, this is a very defender-sided half, normally.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I feel like it's just going to be Sliggy with a smile on his face. I feel like every single one of their executions was really solid. Like, we had most of the openers coming in for them as well, where I was just really impressed with how they were able to isolate different jewels, use the Cosmic Divide to good effect. The Viper screens as well, coming out from Navira, were on point to make things very awkward. And then I can't think of an ultimate that they used which didn't have high impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing. They're using their ultis really well. Their utility is, sure, sometimes burned up on empty sides, but they still have enough for post plans. There doesn't seem to be a lot of flaws in Liquid's play. And I think, honestly, that's because they're coming in, they're playing 100%. They want to win this tournament. They want to get that cash money. Ain't got much else to do. FNATIC, on the other hand, they've got things to conserve. That's why we're seeing such weird setups out of them. That's why we're seeing them look so uncomfortable. At the same time, it is also Split.
Yeah, it's also a map that they just don't really play. It does. I think Ascent might be the 3rd map as well, which I also think that they're going to get boomed on. I'll be honest. With what we've seen so far, I don't necessarily mind seeing a Doma Reina, but it's not something I expect to see at Champions. So maybe they'll go for something even more wild on Ascent. But for now, at least, they need to have a pretty damn incredible attack side. And I don't think it's going to happen.
No, that's fair to say, Tom. I think that's a good assumption. Making this comeback from 8-4 will be tough. It starts with a pistol round, and it starts without Doma.
Beautiful.
Grab well into a nade. Backside Durka dashing past. Is being chased down by a boombot, running out of ammo here. 4 bullets left. Quick reload, but the whole team's there. Scream already dominating in there on a 3K, and leaving just Magnum alone in heaven, trying to come in and split with his teammates, but he hasn't got any left. And Scream, well, he wants the 4K. He's sending it up on the rope, and he won't get it. Lighting Magnum to 40 and pretty much confirming the round. A valiant attempt and a good close to this round here. 9-4. Team Liquid almost secure the game on this. I mean, if they manage to win the first buy round, game's already over.
I do think that there should be a rule that Scream is not allowed to play Reina because it's not fair on everyone else. Like
That's a good call.
It's just like the fact that in that round, it wasn't even really to do with Reina, but it's almost just like the mentality of Reina is like, my job is to just kill people. And then that's what he does. That's what he does. He goes for hardcore entries, spinning on a dime, finding headshots. Like, I just don't think that should be fair. He should be forced to play like Astra, so he has to think about all his utility.
Oh, so you want him to join FPX?
Yes. No, he's a Brim main now.
Oh, good damage out of Scream. He can heal up as well. He doesn't even need the scope. Just swing it out. Pop the nose, hip fire headshots. All right. That's what we like to see. He tagged up Doma as well in a little collateral earlier on. And so this should be a nice, easy cleanup. And honestly, yeah, look, having Empress online early, not that impactful really compared to most of the other ultimates on his team. But getting those kills is very important for the simple reason that it stops FNATIC from having the potential of dealing any damage to the Liquid economy. Those early duels now almost guarantee a flawless round, considering it's only Mystic with a Classic left, and these players are very spread out looking for these
Don't believe in Mystic? I'm
when Solkis
really
and Linker staring at him with Rife. Full.
Oh, you almost had to eat your words there.
Oh, that was close. 6 HP.
Oh.
That's just how good Mystic is, man. He's a 1v2 in that fight with a Classic, no armor, still manages to come out and almost get a kill.
By the way, is the Classic nerfed?
Tom, listen, stop it. I've had 17. It is nerfed, okay? We know fundamentally. We went and checked. Lothar's tweet, Hypox's misinformation, everything that was coming out about this Classic, it's been a,
So what you're saying
roller coaster.
You're blaming Hypox almost entirely.
Hypox and Lothar, yes.
Okay.
I'm blaming 100%.
Everyone's fault.
It's not my fault.
Okay.
No, not even slightly.
All right. I'm not sure they'll agree.
I'm not sure they have to, because they don't have microphones right now. So that's unfortunate.
Wait, I thought Lothar was sat on your lap.
Well, of course, I told you he's not allowed to speak during the game.
Oh, okay. Okay. He's perma-muted.
Yeah. I think he's angry because
I really
stopped
don't
stroking my hair, so...
If Yumpy gets a kill here... Oh, the full line is so good. Posted in the standard chance, and he's actually going to get into a more aggressive corner. Mystic will clear, so it's not the end of the world. They've managed to at least find an early trade, but it's forced out some positioning, and Scream is going wandering. He's going for the P. Oh, he's fake flashed him! Doma's made him look like a fool. There's not many people who could do that to Scream, but hey, it's worked out and it's given them the man advantage here.
You'll love to see that, man. Yeah, Team Liquid now, man disadvantage. Very spread out, giving up control of the A side. And FNATIC haven't set their sights on anywhere in particular just yet. They do have a lurk outside A, getting a little bit of space, but they're walking up middle, and Solkis is here, still with the nade online. The Spectre in hand, ready to catch them off. There's Mystic dropped in. A good attempt on the Durka. Fair amount of damage done. Even when you look at this Marshall in play, there's now 2 players that are 1 hit to the Marshall. That gives them a big chance of fighting back in, considering it's a bonus, and of at least doing a little bit more damage.
Yeah, I think with an open A site, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, though. Like, I would almost want to see Liquid try and just hold them on the exits, or maybe even just go and pick up some rifles. Like, they're so far ahead that realistically doing damage here, it's not the most important thing in the world. And there are some guns still to be found, which is exactly what they're looking for. So they've already managed to pick up 1 Phantom. If they go back towards the spawn and just try and kill off a player or 2 as they leave, this could be one hell of a round for Liquid.
Definitely could be. It looks like they're going to spread out decently and look for these exit frags.
I thought you were going to say clues.
Scooby.
Do.
Be-do.
Okay. I didn't think you'd carry it on any further than that.
I'll keep going, Tom. I can go all day long.
Do you know the full theme?
I think so.
We're not going to find out.
If I had the handheld mic, I'd go full karaoke.
Okay.
Right now, but...
I'm sure we can get you that for later.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to subject the viewers to that, Tom, I'm willing.
As long as I'm not wearing a headset, it's fine.
Oh, no, you'll be on the mic with me.
No.
You're doing the backup vocals.
There's backup vocals?
Yeah, dude, you don't know the Scooby-Doo theme? Come on, man. Get with the program.
Oh, God. Well, it is a round onto the board for FNATIC. As said, though, Liquid bringing through a couple of extra guns, it just gives them an even bigger boost to their economy. Like, you can see Navira right now. He'll have an operator in the next round if he desires it, so it's a scary spot, and of course they're on the defensive side, and they now have a purchase. So I'm not feeling too confident. Empress, I believe, is also online if Scream decides to pop it, which he might not, especially in this sort of round where just looking to get a little bit more aggressive.
Well, there's not going to be anybody spotted outside of A just yet, just the lurk from FNATIC. Most of the pressure, I like that they're lurking with their Cypher, and then they're spread out in duos trying to take some duels. I mean, this is very kind of ranked-esque of a strat in the early round, playing those defaults in a map like Split where you've got the 3 lanes, and well, it's already netted them 1 kill. Surprisingly, not the duos that were taking the fight, but in fact, the lurker of Magnum catching them completely off guard, and Solkis forgot to pick up his mouse on that one. Easy kill for Durka and a 2-man advantage for FNATIC. They might get their way back into this, but they're still running into B where there's 2 players waiting. Oh. Double flash, Link didn't stand a chance, and he's hunted down quickly.
It's a beautiful utility usage to get into the site. They've still got Yumpy to deal with, but he is completely surrounded. They've got the Aftershock trying to force him out. I thought for a second he was going to be able to get 3 kills, but 2.5. It's not bad. And now it's left on the new boy on the block. Navira try and pull off. Looks like a nigh on impossible clutch. He's going to hear the drop down, but the Cypher cam will give him away. He's got some Viper util to clear out, but the flash will... What? It should have allowed Doma to escape. He actually waited a moment just in case. Still, though, he's going to have to try and isolate both of these players, and there's a wraparound still coming in from Boaster just to make sure there's very little chance of him getting back in.
Yeah, the flash in hand from Boaster, ready to just allow that peek to come around. You're about to have a guiding light right in Navera's face, confirming that he's towards the spawn still. And this round is indeed locked down for FNATIC. They managed to find 6, and Team Liquid will definitely be upset with that. Losing the opening pick towards A was one thing, but once the Heaven control fell, the round was under heavy threat.
Yeah, I do also think, though, that there was a lot of aspects in that round which I don't know how recreatable they're going to be for FNATIC. Like, firstly, the 1v1 duel that was lost by Scream. I don't know how many times that's going to happen, considering how much we've watched this game so far. And also just Soulcast being caught a little bit off guard. Still a good round, and I love how they actually entered into the B site. Like, the pop flashes, like, Link didn't stand a chance. And there's not many times when I'm watching a game of Split or watching Link at all where I'm thinking, he's been absolutely wrecked there. Because he's normally the sort of person that you can guarantee at least a couple of kills from. So if they're able to isolate him throughout the rest of the map, hey, maybe they can bring him back.
Now we're going to have Liquid Yampy calling in for a timeout here.
IGL Yumpy.
Not surprised that it's Liquid after that previous round. They want to sort out a little bit of that defensive side, but it was a couple of unfortunate picks, to be honest. A lot of the time, as you said, Scream's going to be able to win out that 1v1 towards the A side. All of a sudden, you lose your lurker, you lose a lot of the control you have, and sure, they probably still do end up falling in Heaven, but...
Or he just won't be in the 1v1. I think that's the other thing.
That as well.
I do prefer when... Like, I understand when you have Scream on your team, you can definitely have rounds where you just go, hey, Scream, you want to go try and kill someone? Like they did, but I think in a lot of cases, it won't just be as bread and butter at that, and you'll have, like, a fault line or something alongside it to give him more of a chance to the opener. Now, this round, buy is going to be mixed. Seeing Soulcast actually buying up a shotgun kind of pains me a little bit because I know that he's almost definitely going to get a kill, and that does annoy me. You've also then got the operator onto Navira. Now, we know that Yumpy has played this a lot in the past, but he's so competent with this gun, I don't mind it at all, even though he's a Viper currently peeking mid.
The reality is, and something that I think a lot of teams forget, just because you're not playing a Jet doesn't mean you can't op. Like, Counter-Strike does it without a dash, you know what I mean? It definitely limits your ability to play aggressive.
Just don't miss.
Exactly.
Right there.
Shout out Durka for that one. That's why he's playing the Jet right now. He's had a couple little whiff shots. But honestly, you know, you still seeing a Viper it's definitely strange because you're not going to want that player to take opening duels a lot of the time. But on defense, it can be okay. That time it was not. He falls next to his brother Scream, who now wants to push up and try to get that control, aware that that was the lurker of Magnum finding the kill and that they might be rotating over. You're going to see Liquid reinforce the B side as well. 2 players now here to stop them. Yampy having all of the stars to play with. And a little bit less HP. That was very close if the spray was continued. Link able to take down Durka. Yampy gets that's the spike drop. Great information, but there's a flank coming around. He watches it just in time. Oh! Raised them for 4. The final player coming through Heaven, Magnum, will be caught as well. And Link aces out the round, 11-6. Team Liquid barely holding on to be there, but man, Link.
Oh, I poked the bear. I poked the bear. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I was like, you know, if they can continue to isolate him like they did in the last round, maybe there'll be an opportunity for them to bring back this map. And yeah, they didn't isolate him this time.
Oh,
and that's the problem.
Isolated them.
It's very, very difficult to isolate Link. I've said, like, when it comes to the most valuable player on this team, I genuinely believe it's Link. Even with all the talent that they've got, I think he's so good at holding down a site. The one time they managed to own him, I feel like he took it personally.
It could be. It could well be. He said, all right, guys, I'm going to actually play this round. Let's go. See what you got. 11-6. Rolling Thunder available for Team Liquid. Not much outside of that in terms of impact, but Bladestorm active for FNATIC.
Scout destroyed.
Let's see exactly where that's going to be used. Up in the middle. Looking for the control. Durka's walking on up. Liquid, much the same as FNATIC did, completely giving up control of mid, of B Heaven even. They have a star down, but that can just be walked on for FNATIC.
Well, Dirk is making a hell of a lot of noise, but again, it's almost part of the plan. Try and bait someone in, use up some of that utility. A few stars getting placed here and there, knowing that mid control is currently given up, and for Soulcast, just playing a little bit of an off angle. Still, though, FNATIC, they've gained a little bit of ground, but ultimately haven't really achieved too much just yet. Again, they've left Magnum lurking, though, and the push through from Scream looks like a freebie kill, and they'll take it eventually. So now the rest of the team are going to start pushing back in the other direction. The Spike's still very far behind, and Yumpy has already managed to find a kill. Now, for Boaster, it becomes a little bit awkward. They've got 20 seconds to either continue their push in towards this side of the map, or try and fall back, and instead they just walk into Navera's crosshair, and he finds both kills.
Now, very easily cleaned up by Navera at the end, getting the Rolling Thunder online, and 12-6 we go. Team Liquid looking to close this one out easily, and I mean, realistically, when we came into this map, we knew FNATIC not too strong on it.
Permaban.
Exactly, permaban. We look at their comp, we look at how they're approaching this tournament in general, and you can just get that sense that this isn't something that they're living and dying by, right? They're in this tournament, get a little bit of practice, and maybe even test out some things. What happens if we give up mid control on split, for example? Let's see how teams react to that. Let's see how Liquid reacts to that. It's a very valuable learning experience, even if you're not running a proper comp yourself, if you're just looking to feel out how other people play a map you don't normally. And, well, you know, with Scream, a lot of the time, Liquid are going to play it by sending them out to kill someone. And that's exactly why.
Yeah, he's able to fade back through
What a nice
their
guy
smokes.
Mystic is. You see that? He just gave his weapon away. And play him with a Spectre instead. What a cool dude.
Cool. Fair enough. Soulcast has died, and now they can maybe retrieve one for himself. Scream, he's caught out. Oh, there's no way. There is no way he should get away with that. What just happened to Doma? A little bit of dancing from Scream, and he's able to dodge his way out of a scenario where he should have been dead long, long ago. It is left onto your man, Mystic. I think he's about to walk straight into the crosshair of Scream. I thought for a second he was going to go for a dive, but instead he'll execute him honorably.
They do talk about his one-taps, I've heard, and right there we saw it to close out the game. 13-6, Team Liquid predictably win map number 1. But do we expect it to continue in this manner? FNATIC now getting the permaban out of the way, because remember, this man is not about to double shock dart these guys. Oh, Scream, get the hell out of here! 1 second into the game, and he's already one-tapped Durka. Double shock dart's coming through a little bit late. It's all right. They've got the opening pick. FNATIC now at a man disadvantage, but it looks like they've gained control of B with the wall down. That's going to be an easy plant.
Yeah, this is the classic. Link already, though, managing to find one back, and I imagine he's going to save his own wall to try and go for the retake as well. So this is going to become very awkward for FNATIC very quickly, and you can already see they're trying to play a little bit more around the wall itself, like try and deny people this extra little bit of space. Sova, oh, it's a little bit awkward for Boaster, but he'll find the kill nonetheless. It was necessary, but Scream is just connecting everything with the Sheriff. Magnum has one of his own. Oh, it's not quite as crisp. It's not quite as crisp. It's going to be Liquid taking themselves the initial pistol round and getting off to a strong start on their defensive side.
Now, I know Lothar's been talking a lot about the pistol rounds, obviously with the classic nerf coming in, but by the way, the classic is nerf comp.
Is it?
Yeah, it is, apparently.
If only someone had told us.
I know, right? But coming into this event, obviously Lothar's been very interested in that, and I know we're going to hear a lot about it from him later on, but the conversation was around classics and ghosts. We're seeing Sheriff spot up here on Icebox, and with the long-range duels that are on offer, I guess it makes sense, but even more so when you look at the fact that there's players like Scream on the server, who's now picked up another one-shot headshot weapon. He's coming in here with the Marshall.
Yeah, FNATIC, though, are actually going to force off this. So they're coming in slightly weaker. They don't necessarily have the shields or maybe a few pieces of utility missing, but they do have Durka, and this is the map where he's always been phenomenal. Not quite the shots he would have wanted to connect in the early stages, but he does get at least a little bit of a tag. We're also going to see them garner that early control, maybe realizing that with Liquid currently playing somewhat of a retake setup on this side of the map, they could actually get a plant down relatively free.
Maybe. Yeah, no, it looks like it. I was waiting for the timing on that for them to put the wall down, but it's landed in. It looks like they're getting away with those post plants. Nice and easy. Huge advantage for them in a round like this. With force bought up, let's see what they can do now that the fights come in. The scrappier duels, the wall going down momentarily. Good shock dart onto Doma. Decent damage done. Solka's coming up behind, is being spotted. Great head peek angle. The blast back up above doing damage to Mystic. He's now just 47 HP. The defuse halfway gone. Boaster caught in the open, lacking with the shock dart in hand. Still down into a 2v2, 1v2 in fact now, just leaving Mystic to try and stall them a little longer. Sadly, Solkas comes up behind him, and with just about enough time, they will get away with that defuse. 2-0. Not quite the second round they were looking for, but at the same time, they didn't come up against an eco.
No, like normally when we talk about like, oh, you want to be keeping like 4 players alive, you're versing like classics, maybe a ghost, a sheriff here and there. That was not the case for FNATIC. They invested everything they had. So now they're going to come in with the sort of sheriff buy once again. But this is the real chance for actually some cash to be farmed up. And you can see for Scream now, this actually becomes more of an interesting purchase because you're looking at this thinking, oh, he's actually buying up a Phantom in a round where maybe there's a little bit of a risk. If he even gets 2 kills and dies, he gets a Blade Storm for the next round. It doesn't even matter that he lost the gun.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a big, big danger now for FNATIC. It's the risk of the force bite. You know it in the second round. You roll those dice, and it did nearly pay off. In fairness, the round came pretty close in the end. But with it going the way of Team Liquid, they are now 2-0 up on FNATIC's home ground. And well, that initial pick, peak rather, on one of the few strong weapons they have in the form of a Marshall, leaves Durka down with a little bit less HP than he would have liked. That could have been very close indeed, and very escaping with his life, though.
Yeah, for the remaining players, they're going to need to try and achieve quite a lot here. Still leaving Magnum on the lurk, even though he is playing the Sage. I don't believe he would have his wall in this scenario anyway, unless he just bought it up to use in the next round. And yeah, Navira, well, we spoke about Scream earning up ults. It's actually going to be his brother getting there first. Still, though, a little bit of cost cause. Like, it's not ideal for FNATIC, but they've even earned up a res, I believe, onto Magnum already. So they're going to have an ult or 2 of their own.
3-0 down, they'll definitely be happy to have those as well. They need to, by the way, back into this series, or back into this, well, yeah, indeed this series, because they're already the 1-0 down, and although it's a BO5, it can end 2-0.
Theory, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, and this is the danger zone, I suppose, now. FNATIC having the res, having their Viper's Pit, but it's more Team Liquid. They get to actually play this round on a much better econ value than you would expect, because they have that Viper's Pit online. At least they're given the option. You can just play a Spectre, put the Viper's Pit down start of the round, and it's free low.
Yeah, as well with having like a 3-round buffer, you're going to invest a little bit more here because you've actually just earned up more economy anyway. So it's a bit of a weird round where normally FNATIC would have a huge advantage. Instead, there's actually not much at all. Link, he's going to get scanned up running behind them, and there's the realization. Doma with a freebie kill onto him, and now they actually have a sandwich almost perfectly onto the players around this B site. Yumpy at least able to find one, but I was about to say there's not really a chance for Soulcast here with just a pistol.
Be honest with you, man. Not really making a lot of sense to me with how this round went down. I think Liquid have had a massive oversight. Navera playing with a Phantom. Meanwhile, you've got a player pushing mid with a Spectre. He's the one that's actually going to take fights for the most part. No one's going to push Navera. They're not going to run into that Viper's Pit to try and fight him. He should be the one playing with the Spectre for those close-range duels on players that are already low HP, and his teammate is actually holding the mid and making those pushes.
He has changed.
Or maybe on the B side and so on.
He has changed what food is in the background.
Oh, he has.
Picture.
This must be like a thing, like a YouTube series, or like I don't know what's going on. Like I'm not getting the reference. Maybe some people in Twitch chat are. Maybe
is this like someone who does like mukbangs?
Let us know. I don't know what that is.
Food.
So
a mukbang is like with someone like a YouTuber. They do like they get a load of different food and they just eat it on YouTube and like talk.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I've seen the dude with the like all the crabs and.
Yes.
Guy that just has an insane amount of food in front of him. I've seen that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that.
Yeah. I do that, but without the camera.
Without the camera.
It's not a career, it's just kind of like
and you're probably
dinner.
not as happy as the people who say, oh, God.
That's why I'm eating.
Oh, so much food.
Well, 3-1.
I'm sure someone would watch it.
I'm not sure I want to.
There's someone in Twitch chat right now, like that's the content I desire.
That's what I'm missing. I want to see Yampy just hitting up the courts with Roger Federer. That's what I'm up. Getting a Nadal in there.
Yeah, I would say that might be a bit of a reach, but if he can pull it off, fair play.
Hey, Liquid got connections, man.
They do.
They do. I'm not sure Yampy would do very well in that matchup. No comment on Yampy. Just they hit those balls really fast. It's like.
Mitchman on tennis, they hit those balls.
I'll say, man,
really fast.
I played one tennis competition in my life. I played for like a year, and then I went to my first competition. I was so excited. It was round robin. Got knocked out as soon as possible. Lost every game. I don't think I scored a point. So I stopped playing tennis after that. And that's when video games started.
Yeah, and also you became a jockey in the horse riding. They're always very small.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, but I don't think they're usually fat, though. That's the problem. I think that horse wouldn't be running. I doubt he'd be standing, I'll be honest. They're starting to make a push over towards the A site. FNATIC moving in towards it, but they're leaving a lurk out on mid. Early in the round, we saw their Jet get up on top. Oh, little bump. No plant to be found. This time, Sulka's just running them down, and that has not worked out. Magnum, Durka in there for the picks. Durka's mid lurk working perfectly. And Scream, well, he's going to have to dive on into that Viper's pit, potentially. Why is he in Boaster's face? Boaster's going to be so mad with that.
Yeah, he's managed to bypass all of his teammates. He's also caught Doma on the outside. This goes from being basically an impossible position to lose from FNATIC to now into a 3 versus 3. They're even baiting out the res and trying to get Scream to jump in. How is he still finding these kills? Navira's dropped another. The time, however, is ticking. They need to clear out the remainder, and it's left all on to Scream, dashing away, but Mystic will keep them in it. That's an incredibly costly round for FNATIC, and they scrape their way through it.
If he aced that and closed it out, you would just forfeit, wouldn't you? You'd bail. Like, what was that from Scream? The dude catches Boaster perfectly, gets the rifle, and then I don't even know. It's like he was invisible. It's like he was just strolling around a different plane. He was in the astral plane just shooting people. They had no idea where he was. That's insane. 3-2, FNATIC get away with the round just about, and they've put Liquid in a bit of an awkward spot. Not everybody has the kind of funds that you'd want to get a full buy up, and I'm curious to see how they even decide to distribute that. A lot of players with classics right now.
Yeah, the thing is as well, FNATIC's own economy also kind of sucks. So I really wouldn't be against Team Liquid gambling here, especially on a map that historically has not been a particularly good one for them. One where they rely very much on their individual players to drag them through. Getting a huge boost from economy, something like this would be great. Scream, though, has been completely caught out. And while Doma just seems to be running around and killing everybody in this round, so I don't think there's going to be much realistically for Liquid to play with. I do believe they put a couple of rifles on the board though, so I'll be curious to see what their economy looks like next round, because Yumpy has nothing.
You can see Doma kind of second-guessing some of these fights. He's like, oh, I don't really need to get aggressive on that. That's why I love watching FNATIC, man. They're smart players, but so too are Liquid, and they're damn well skilled. Yampy moving around the backside inside the Cloudburst, waiting for the fade, and so too are FNATIC, staring right on at him. It's a nice closeout, 3 versus 1 Link, just a Sheriff. No time, snake bites everywhere. The question is, does he manage to do a bit more damage? Does he get out with the rifle? And the answer to those questions is no. FNATIC walking away with the 3-3, tying it up. Attack side looking good for them on Icebox here.
Yeah, Durka looking a little bit different than what I remember. I'm pretty sure that was Soulcast, but close enough.
Same team. All good.
Same
match.
Same team, yeah.
No, well, maybe they are now. Maybe it's a league.
Are you the one doing the player cams? Is that what's going on? It's like, oh yeah, he's on the same team.
They're all the same. Boaster, he's on Ascend, right? That's grand. Don't worry about it.
He'll come up with the player cam for the next match. Just Boaster's just eating his lunch, just on camera.
There's no idea the camera's on in the background in the kitchen, washing the dishes, just going about his life.
Oh god.
After his potatoes and sour cream.
Yeah,
what is it? No, it was salad dressing.
Salad cream, yeah.
Salad
tuna.
Sorry, what's the difference between salad dressing and salad cream? Or is that the same? Have you just said a weird word?
No, salad cream is like you get like the squeezy bottle of stuff that's a bit like mayonnaise, but not really.
Oh. It's a bit like mayonnaise. I can accept it. I've never had it.
Really.
Okay. Pushing to the A side. FNATIC looking for the control. Yampy gets in there quickly though. No res available. Magnum won't be able to get him back up, but hopefully he'll be able to at least find that spike plant. Drone coming in just to spot them up, and how is Mystic behind him? Why? Oh no, don't knife him. Mystic? Okay, thank you. Thank you. The man has at least some respect. And Sulkas has been done yet again. When Sulkas comes up behind players, he gets shot in the face. When he walks in front of players, he gets shot in the face. He's not having a good time when it comes to the little flanky plays, and how is it happening twice in one round? Oh, come on, guys! Liquid, oh, they still haven't spiked using a Vandal, and they still haven't spotted out where he is. Eventually, he's dealt with, but it might be too little too late. 2 versus 3 res online. Are Liquid even gonna try? I doubt it, man. They're running away. Looking to save through for another round, and FNATIC have gotten away with this one in fantastic fashion.
It would have been funny if that snake bite actually killed him. But I don't think it was quite close enough for him not to be able to avoid it, but yeah, a little bit of extra damage taken from Magnum at the end. These are the sort of rounds that we come to expect, though, from Durka. Like, I think that this well, at least for me personally, is my favorite map to watch Durka play, because I feel like there's two strat books for FNATIC. There is the one that involves an immense amount of team play, utility, and strategy, and then there is Durka Go Kill, which is just on its own page, but they had to put in a separate book because Boaster has to pretend to open it up, and yep, Durka, if you could just run into the A site and do something ridiculous, that would be cool. Then he closes it, put it back down, and goes to the other strat book again.
So we've heard the rumors, right, about Doma's Reyna. We've heard that
It's banned.
it's vetoed, it's banned. He's fighting to play that Reyna here, and so far, look, he had a good round, but
Been all right.
he's 2-7 though. In terms of what you want a Reyna to do,
No.
not great. Needs to step it up a little bit in that performance, but nonetheless, they've got 4 rounds on the board. He's being traded out. No, I'll tell you who isn't. Durka. He's gone right at the start of the round, and Team Liquid have fully rotated in. There are 5 players here. There's a showstopper online. It might not even need to be used. They are just decimating FNATIC on this push towards B, and it's barely even begun. They're only just making it to yellow by the time it's a 3v5.
Yeah, I think they're desperately going to need a kill to come through at this point from Doma. The dismiss should just about get him to escape, but he has taken some extra damage in response. I don't really see a way out of this for them. Both players so desperately low. Maybe if there's an extra kill. They actually are going to use the showstopper. I don't really know why, but I guess it forced the remaining couple of players out. That's about all I could really give to that.
It's a weird one, yeah. Just chucking away a very valuable ult and a pretty much guaranteed round. They had a flank coming in as well. It seems strange, that's for sure. 4-4, tying it up. FNATIC have a res, so too to Team Liquid. Everything else is tied up in that regard, and the buy is going to be nice and even. This is going to be a very fun round to watch, and I'm already seeing a lot of presence from FNATIC outside the A side, a lot of pings going on, and I'm expecting what we're about to see is Durka going for that pick very early on top of Belt. But at the same time, Scream's looking to push A, so this could be a very interesting early round fight. That's kind of nasty.
Trying to spot over. Of course, we have the little headshot angle that people like to play. Also the boost up on top, but Scream has managed to get past any of those angles early on, but the flick is quick enough from Durka. He'll escape out with that opening pick. The thing is, though, the rest of the team are not really gambling in that direction. You can see from Liquid, they are actually starting to move players further into A. Now, this could be because they've got the res. In fact, it is because they've got the res. They want to bring back Scream, who doesn't, so they're going to get back into a 5 versus 5. But while this is going on, FNATIC aren't just sitting around waiting. They're not just watching. They are currently taking B.
They most certainly are. The pick on an Navera valuable. It takes down the Viper wall as well. At this stage, it wasn't really allowing them to get back into the site. It could have certainly helped out. Just blocking off some of those sight lines that Durka is now going to be holding on to as Yampi. Look, he's about to come around this corner. Durka's just holding it patiently. Will his patience persist? See, the thing is, Liquid are the ones with the pressure on their back. Someone's got to go and peek that, and when they do, it's Solka's with a boom bot.
What?
That's a questionable peek if ever I've seen one. Yampi starting to move away, and I think Liquid, at this stage, time's around pretty low. If they don't get a pick immediately, it's time to go save, and they're turning tail. They're running away.
I almost wonder if that was slight miscommunication. Like, maybe Solkas thought that his teammate was holding a little bit deeper than he actually was. So he was like, oh, well, this angle is covered. So I would just walk out into the open. Because otherwise, that does seem like a little bit of a silly thing to do. Now, I think in general, Solkas's raise is something that is incredibly strong. And I do see a place for it in this map in particular. Like, Envy had a slightly wilder comp where they actually switched out the Sage instead, and then they had the Killjoy playing instead of what would be the Raze here. And it was basically just a plant denial setup, where you just, on your defensive side, all you really did was just like, okay, you're trying to plant. We got blast packs, we got paint shells, we got nano swarms. Like, we've just got everything, the Viper lineups as well, just to continuously counter you every time you went to plant on B. And by that point was out, your Sage War is now useless, because you basically wasted it while just getting denied. We haven't actually seen much of that. On the A side, I think there was a couple of blast packs from Solkas, basically just like, hee, I pushed you off the spike for 0.1 of a second. Yeah. But other than that, I would love to see some of those lineups actually utilize a little bit more, because I think there's been a few times now where I don't feel like his utility has been used to the best of its ability just yet.
Like our little timeout cam. It was Solkas that called the timeout, but obviously he's not the one talking. Sitting there listening intently as they run on through these strats and how they want to remedy the results of the previous round. And I think it's a good time to call a timeout. There was, as you said, clearly some kind of communication breakdown. when it came to the previous round and on that peak that came out from Solkasen. So you'll have that conversation, try to fix things up, and also look for any opportunities to catch FNATIC off guard. Now with 5 rounds on the board, Tom, I'm going to ask you, right? Well, we know this is a good map for FNATIC. When they swap to the defensive side, we're not realistically expecting these guys to slow down that much, are we?
No, I would still expect them to at least get 7 rounds on the attack. Like and I also think that Liquid are likely to be better on the attack, like with the duo that they currently have in the form of their agents. But at the same time, like I think that their defensive setup is strong, and I think Durka on the defense, if anything, is going to just be better, and probably Doma as well, with their A-site defense just being incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key things I want to highlight here, hammer home, is the fact that just because you've got a Reyna, attack side, not putting up the numbers, doesn't mean she ain't doing her job. And you got to look at how FNATIC are using her here. It's all about buying space. But Doma's going up there to actually entry, to actually find those fights. Could be the first time we're seeing Doma hardcore entry like this. And he's been cut off from a few different angles, now tagged up, and I think it's time for him to disengage a little bit. Blastpack's destroying the wall, dealing damage, pushing the players back, and they know exactly where this is being planted. Snakebite in. Not going to do all too much. FNATIC get away, still with the res to play with. Bladestorm not likely to be popped just here. We need some duels to go Liquid's way very quickly here, and there's a player spotted in the corner. Free kill to Magnum already. We mentioned the Reyna is super low in HP, but Mystic from afar is
They moved the plant.
Screen. There's the wall, and because they moved the plant, they've got to dash on in and stop that diffuse as it just goes across the line. There's still players left alive on FNATIC by the time the round ends, and Team Liquid just completely embarrassed them, outbrained them on the blast packs in the wall.
Yeah, this is where, as said, like the Raze utility definitely can be used well, but I'm almost a little bit disappointed with FNATIC that just because like they got their plant moved. That was obviously communicated across. They knew that they had to actually place it over on a different position, but they didn't really have the adaptation to actually then play those after plants. So it's kind of like Liquid definitely won the round by using their utility to deny the plant, but then I wanted to see what FNATIC would do to stop that. Maybe they thought that they'd stay a little bit alive a little bit longer, and then you'd have that flank coming in from Boaster. I think that was actually the plan, but when it was just that little bit too slow, there needed to be something else, because you saw from Durka, there was nothing he could do there. He didn't have an angle on the spike anymore.
They had a good round plan, but they didn't adapt, and that's really the problem. You got to see those adaptations coming through that little bit quicker. You said 7 rounds is where you want to see FNATIC by the end of this half, and, well, Doma opens it up well, but traded out immediately. They need to win these final 2 to reach the goal. The spike will be planted. That might not help them. It's a 3v3. The duels still need to go their way. Boaster does well to at least find one, and now they pull back. They're playing a... Oh, that was a bit awkward on the spray. The Yampy falls eventually. This super passive post plans, screaming a 1v3. Somehow I still believe it's possible, purely because of the man that is in it. He's going to try to stick it down halfway. He secured it at least to start with. Now out comes the pick. The first is found. The second player spotted. Mystic still unknown. Sticking it halfway, and eventually he'll be caught out. Well played by FNATIC to close that round out. 6-5, and we'll fight for the final round of the half. FNATIC kind of needed on the attack, but Liquid could be able to bring it up and equalize things out a little bit. I'm taking a look at the ultis online again. I'm looking at Navera. That is pretty huge that he has Viper's Pit. However, he has got an op right now.
Yeah.
That is...
they got 2.
Double ops, none of which are on Scream, who's playing the Jet. Very weird reality that we're in right now. And Scream's not going to play with a
He's going to go for an ult orb. The thing is, I think they're going to try and hold for him. He's going to go get the ult orb, and then they're going to try and deny the pick coming through. But the thing is, this is something that's definitely known by FNATIC, but they haven't been able to stop it. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily sure how well the double operator is going to go, and it definitely won't work amazingly when you have yourself a Viper's Pit, because that is the worst weapon you could possibly use within that PC utility. But they at least managed to get themselves that early ult orb that they desired. And actually, Soulcast has landed a kill onto Durka.
Yeah, that res is going to be used. It's been online for a while for FNATIC. We've seen the double op set up out of Liquid, but we haven't really seen any impact of it up until this round, at least. Let's see if anything comes through from it. The push out of mid from Sage is a little bit dangerous. Link, again, playing on that Spectre. I'm really not a fan of it, man. For double ops, giving your teammate a Spectre when you've got a Viper's Pit, it really doesn't sit well with me. Especially for the final round where you want to use those ultis up. FNATIC have managed to find themselves the Hunter's Fury. And Immediately, we're going to see that drone chasing down Yampi. He gets tagged. Here's the Hunter's Fury popped. It's going to try to hunt him down. Look for those tags on him, and it's not going to land on the first two. A random pulse into the site just about misses, narrowly misses Solkas, who is again trying to push them back with those blast packs. The shock dart's not quite landing, but the shots are. As Solkas falls, the numbers now favor FNATIC and a Viper's Pit online. Oh, he dies to the snake bite from Navarra up above. Screen from the top rope is tearing them to shreds, and Boaster on that late flank yet again. He won't even be able to get there in time. That defuse is coming through, covered by Navarra. 6-6 at the halftime. Very good half out of Liquid, I have to say.
Yeah, I've actually been, like, I feel like they corrected a lot of the stuff in the early rounds, as I said, when it came to that A site with their plant denial. Like, it was still somewhat of some 50-50 rounds, but I just think that the way that we saw some of that utility actually used was really impressive. And then it was thoroughly enjoyable as well.
Oh, that is, when you see some of these replays go down, this one in particular, Scream, man, it was so damn close. The fact that this round has 2 flank plays coming in, 2 players with trigger discipline, and 3 kills total from those flanks was a little bit silly, but these things happen. 6-6 at the half. Am I right in saying, Tom, that you're going to see that as a favor towards Liquid coming in the second half?
I think it's a very good half from Liquid, especially but you have to then also consider the other side of it, that they did win. They were 3-0 up. So it was a decent recovery from FNATIC considering what happened. But yeah, on your defensive side, to get that many rounds, it's strong. But this is a map, again, that they don't really play. So now I'm looking at those star players, and, well, there's one of them already, but Doma, he's actually going to be able to dismiss out of there. Doesn't, of course, get the heal up. He probably would have desired at least a little bit earlier, but they're not going to mind that. They keep the advantage. He gets healed back up, and it's going to be a one man to the good for the side of FNATIC.
Yeah, really good bait and switch there. Although it wasn't really a switch, the player died, but still, it worked out. Nice shot to Boaster. Liquid Scream pulling it right on back. His Sheriffs in these pistol rounds have just been nasty. Yappy gets inside of the poison orb, eliminating Mystic. FNATIC starting to fall apart. That man advantage they had now turns into just one player. Magnum popping the wall, trying to take the duel, but Yampy, despite being tagged up, will survive, and Scream comes in for a 3K in the pistol. All headshots, all Sheriff. And 7 on the board for Team Liquid now. They've taken the advantage, and with 2 pistols under their belt, they look damn good.
Yeah, I feel like Scream is just killing it in all of the pistol rounds that we've had so far, which is just going to be giving so much of a boost to Liquid in every single half that he can just pop off as he has been, picking up that Sheriff. So now it becomes a little bit more awkward for FNATIC because they're not going to be able to buy back up into this round. Like, it's something that's a lot more plausible when it comes to the attack, especially if you get Spike down, get a few kills, but in this scenario that wasn't really the case. So this almost just acts as like a little bit of a buffer. And as said, like, we have seen Liquid on this map at least have some pretty decent attack sides. So the fact that the defense was already good, that's a great sign.
All right, most definitely is. Their attack not really under question, but FNATIC will look to put it there. This defense from FNATIC with just pistols. Not going for the force buy this time around, which I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Didn't really work out for them the first time. And on the defense now, they wouldn't have the same options as they did then. Navarra's managed to sneak behind enemy lines in a way, and I'm a little bit worried about that late round. If some of those players that have sat around, he could have mowed them down. Instead, it's going to be a full stack up on the B side. FNATIC very much ready for this execute to come in. And they'll again look to use those numbers to their advantage. The problem is Liquid have felt it out. They've taken their time towards B, and they're starting to get suspicious with Navarra finding a completely open A site. The rotate's underway.
They've just left Scream behind. This is basically just, hey Scream, take as many with you, get yourself a Blade Storm. How many no-scopes can you get? It's only going to be a couple this time, but that's fine. He's not far away from it already, and Yampy's been left behind just to try and make sure that he can kill off the remainder. Not really losing too much just yet. And for FNATIC, they're not really gaining anything either. Just maybe an extra kill for Durka would be great. Again, the same on the other side, but this is a guaranteed 8th round already for Liquid.
That was an ambitious blast pack play. You love to see it. They do have to be quite careful here. I mean, Durka can do some damage. He can take players down, that is for damn sure. And you see them immediately retreat. They're like, hey, dude, if you want to survive, you want to bring through that Marshal, yeah, you go for it. At least that's what some of the players were thinking. Oh, I'm seeing a little bit of a push-up. Oh, yeah, they're going to kill him. They're going to execute him immediately. 8-6, a round that we knew Liquid would win, but they did take some damage. FNATIC managed to drop 2 weapons.
Yeah.
It's good enough. It's kind of what we expect in a round like that, or expect 1 to 2 at least. Now we move into this stage where things actually get serious. I'm more curious about Team Liquid. They're 1 away from getting a Blade Storm in on screen.
They're going to hunt it.
And Yampi's just going to buy up that Guardian, so they could have a really good buy if they get Blade Storm online.
Yeah, they've also got Hunter's Fury, which in terms of 2 ultimates that can completely change around, I think those are the 2 that we probably look to more specifically on this map. So I'm a little bit wary for FNATIC that if they don't manage to win this one and deny those ultimates, they could be in some real trouble.
Let's be very honest, though. We started out this map with a lot of whiff shots coming out of this man, Turker. He missed a lot of op shots.
Doesn't even have shield.
He's right behind Scream right now. He's 14 kills, Scream's got 50. Dude's second top frag in the server. He's looking fantastic. He's really started to build it back up. I want to see even more from him. But this time we won't get the opportunity. Towards this A site, there was a little bit of pressure out of Liquid. They get the Blade Storm online, but that's all they wanted. Just that little bit of control to get the orb to now play their late round. Much more of a default, and Boaster's gone. Updraft into mid. Screen gets the angle and the headshot. Mystic tagged up and under pressure, and there's still 50 seconds left on the clock. No pressure for Liquid to do anything. They can just sit down, wait it out. Oh, that's not what you want. They can sit down and wait this one out, decide on where they want to go. And you see Solkis was trying to catch them off guard on A. He's keeping them in position at the very least.
35 seconds left on the clock as we start to see them sneaking their way through. Actually, most of the players are watching towards mid. They do have the cross currently being held by Durka, but he's going to be completely isolated by the screen that will likely give them the plant. There's not going to be anything in play, and there's still a lot coming through from Solcast. Now, Scream has been dropped. That's the Blade Storm gone at least. Solcast needs to try and find some impact here because the rest of his team are going to come under some serious pressure, and he's actually been flanked out by Dome. He's aware of the position, and that duel was close, but close doesn't work versus Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. Get her low, it doesn't matter. Heal back up and look at Dome. 149 HP, but it's not enough. Not when you're up against the Sheriff. Navera taking him down, and although Mystic's fighting back in, how are you going to get this defuse? 2 versus 2. Time not on their side, and the flank coming through from Navera. Hunter's Fury to buy him that little bit of extra time, even holding on to the second pulse, and now as Durka goes in for it, little does he know Navera's coming up behind, and that was almost very awkward. It should now be locked down, not even halfway defused. Mystic has no time to get this done. Even getting out of there is going to be impossible for both of them. He kills Navera, but he dies to the spike after. 9-6. Team Liquid are steaming into the lead, and remember, this is FNATIC's home ground. If they lose this, because Liquid won their home ground earlier, they're out of the tournament. They're gone.
Yeah, that'll be it. And in fairly surprising fashion, I have to say that round was beautifully played by Liquid. They played
Just like
for the
that
early...
beautiful man on your screen.
Sure. Who will be eliminated soon if they don't...
Whoa, 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 whoa! We don't want any sort of talk like that, okay?
But that round in general, the fact that they play for the Blade Storm, you get the aggressive pick from Scream, they move into the site, they have the Hunter's Fury played just to buy time for the lurk of Navera. That was perfect from Liquid, even though they lose some players, and now we need to see a same response from Durka, and it just hasn't been there. Not able to get anything done. 2 players picked off, the last only on the site. It's not going to get anything either. A correction of aim, and they're already waiting for the flank. Nice shot from Magnum, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet. Good position out of Yampi. Easily closing that. 10-6 we go. Another round that I think plays out pretty much as we expect. But with a 4-round lead, an attack side from Liquid that we know has always been strong and is looking very strong today in particular. Look at Scream's ability to just go out and take those duels. The late round out of Yampi and Navera's lurks have been fantastic. It feels like at this point, FNATIC, I mean, they could definitely use a pause right here.
They're on the ropes. I think that's the fairest way to say it. Like,
yeah,
losing the round that was a bonus, sure, it had a couple of ultimates. That's not great. You yet to actually put one on the board on your defensive side. And well, they're going to try and get a little bit aggressive, but it's failed miserably. It's going to be down to Darker, and he dashes through the snake bite. Obviously, he was incredibly low for that to actually kill him off. You got Boaster now playing an operator. Not something I thought I'd be saying too much within this matchup, and he needs to perform with it. He's got a little bit of support. Navira on the other side is going to spot him out, and they're already sneaking down in the other direction. Link taking so much ground away, and you can see there's almost a full rotation in from the side of FNATIC. They're not going to have anybody here, and the wall's about to go up.
Yeah, they're starting to really seize that control, and it feels like FNATIC kind of being played like a fiddle on this one. The recon drone coming down through middle, catching absolutely nothing. Plant comes through, and Navera's just going to tank it. It's a little bit of HP loss. He's going to be quite low, but a heal can come through, and Viper's Pit active. That should be round locked in. FNATIC fighting their way back into this one is going to be very, very tough. Mainly because, Tom, we saw that drone used up a moment ago to go down middle. That's valuable util out of the question now, and how do you fight back into the Viper's Pit without it? There are certainly ways, but FNATIC don't want to risk it. They're running out of here to save these weapons, especially that operator through to the next round, and that means conceding an 11th. It feels like disaster is imminent at this stage.
Yeah, I think there'll have to be a drastic change, a hero play, something to bring them back, and honestly, the way that Liquid are actually playing is so methodical that even that might not necessarily be enough. Like, I just think that they're playing these rounds expertly in the... Never mind.
Yeah, I really like the expert play there from Navera.
Take it back.
Jumping into the spike. They're making no mistakes, Tom, and that's what we love. Zero mistakes made.
They're not making mistakes when the round is actually on.
Right, like, they wait for after.
When the spike goes off, that's when they decide to just jump straight into it. But yeah, it's going to be a pause out. Mini given an opportunity to try and talk things through. If he does, then I'll be a little bit worried for the integrity of the tournament. And I know that we are fairly close to the FNATIC offices, but if he can hear you from there, that's a bit weird.
Be clear, we're about a 2-minute walk away. So
yeah,
it's, you know, they're not next door. They're not here in our... Oh, look, he's behind him!
4 players from Giants just turned around.
Dude, I remember casting some lines, so like, what we were talking like battalion, CS, you know, that sort of stuff, and we were like, the players are just in front of us. Like, if we leaned over our desk, we could touch some of the players. It was like, well, this is kind of messed up.
I had an event that shall not be named where they made a mistake of, they put our monitors next to a big window. And then later they went, we're having to cover the window because the players can see the reflection of the entire monitor.
Actually, you know what? Shout out the recently dropped FPX roster in CSGO, the previous Godsend, and I think there were no chance before that. Michael Ayla's old team at Madden and Zen and the boys.
Godsend, right?
They were Godsend. They're FPX now. Well, they were, and then FPX just pulled out of CS. So those guys were super honest, man. I remember doing an event. We play Invitational, and these dudes actually called out. Like, they literally paused the game to be like, hey, just so you know, from this angle, we can see the screen. We don't want to play with that temptation. I was like, you guys are awesome.
They were winning 15-0.
That was like 200K or something. It was a big event.
Yeah,
and they were honest enough. And then you have some coaches who use bugs to cheat. So, you know, the contrast of good people versus... I'm not going to say what I think of the others on this stream. 11-6, we go. Team Liquid really starting to build up this momentum in the series, and we're looking at FNATIC for an answer. We want to see something coming out of these guys because we know they're capable. But we also have that caveat that they're not coming in at 100% right here. They are looking to experiment. They're looking to learn. And so far, Tom, that there hasn't really been that much to write home about in terms of FNATIC's performance in this Red Bull Homeground event.
No. Like some early, destruction of FPX and Anubis, but when it came to Giants, it wasn't great. Nice shot from Durka, though. Avoiding the drone, able to escape out of there, and he will take down Scream in response. Isn't going to be anything to bring him back either, at least just yet. And in fact, they're going to fall back off of the position of Navira. Now, they are watching for this. Doma is facing that direction, but he won't win the battle. He even expected him to be there, still able to find absolutely nothing. Mystic has to kill him off, and he will. Just about gets the right timing of the player dropping down, leaving it into a 2 versus 4 scenario. After Plant looking likely. The Snakebite, again, going to do at least a little bit of damage to Link, and may even try and kill him off. In fact, maybe a bit of an oversight for Mystic.
Oh, Solka's going up on top of Yellow with the players that are left. That won't be expected. He has a good off angle, but a 1v3 to win out. And the first shot lands for Durka. There's FNATIC winning that defensive round at long last. They definitely needed this one, or Liquid would walk away with the series way too easily. But now 11-7, things start to look that little bit more doable. They've won this one in a semi-convincing manner. We just need to see it repeated a couple more times, but I'm sure Liquid have got more than one idea up their sleeve.
Yeah, they've also got more than enough credits to just buy us straight back into this round. So we're going to see the operator this time onto Yumpy. This is the other thing as well that is so terrifying about this Liquid roster, is they can just switch up if one player doesn't really fancy playing the operator. So Navira's obviously started lurking over the last few rounds, so now they'll switch up to the Yumpy's doing it. Both of them are world-class operator players, so there's so much to consider when playing up against this team, and Durka almost has to try and gamble who he's going to be facing against in some of these rounds, and thus where they might be playing.
Well, for Team Liquid, playing towards the A side is the way to go. Durka's waiting. Letting that drone go by, and again catching that opening duel to Scream. Not even taking the damage this time as he fades out. Sage Hill still going to be online coming in the late stages of the round, but Rez is there for Team Liquid. Scream back online and ready to play as the plant comes in. Same position as we've seen many, many times before, but the shock darts are ready for that. They're dealing damage, and that player's now slowed in, kept towards the backside for a moment. FNATIC still need to push in on the back of it, though.
We're going to see the drone clear the close angle of Soulcast, actually leaving in quite an awkward spot. He fights it and does actually manage to get a one-for-one trade. And although there is a red, Scream has just started popping heads 3 in a row. It's going for the whole team. 4 now down for Scream. He's looking to put the final nail in the coffin, and there is only one man remaining in his way. It's the ace out from Scream, and you can even see him on the camera. He knows what he's just done.
Does that deal things, isn't it? Absolutely insane. 5-round advantage now for Team Liquid, and you know when you got Scream, hey, there we go, there we go. Get that little acknowledgement, play to the camera.
I like the idea that he probably just went, good res, bro, good res.
Yeah, you know what, man?
That was a great res.
Link's walking out with so many assists now. he is racking it up. He's got almost as many assists as kills, because all you got to do is heal Scream. You're just knocking it out of the park. Just pocket
I would
sage,
do
you
that.
know?
I was like, Scream, technically I assisted you on all of those kills, so you know.
Oh, look at the confidence out of him now. Blade Storm popped, only one blade left. Damage done at least.
I've still got the orb though.
He did indeed.
Healing.
Now give me those assists, bro. Give me those assists.
Give me this. You've been tagged up, Scream? Yo, Scream, you low? You need to heal? He's like, I'm 98 HP. It's okay. He's like, no, I'll heal you, bro. It's okay. 6 assists this round. Easy. Mystic. Jump spotting it. He's been doing this all game. With the wall going up from him, he has a little bit of extra cover to play with. Viper's Pit going to be activated, but Navera's hunting him down right away, closing in the distance, looking to take this fight, and he's going to walk straight through it. Now Navera has the control. They know that this player's not playing there, and oh, the showstopper out of Solkis. He hunts him down, but Scream falls. No res to bring him back into this round. He aced the previous. This time, someone else needs to step it up. The Hunter's Fury will stop the plant at least for a moment. It gets some tags, some glorious damage, but no follow-up to eliminate these players. Liquid still have a 4v4. And with the reload coming in, they're able to get out of there after planting the spike. Solkis lurking around aggressively, has been spotted. They'll look to just absolutely drop on him. Wow, what the spacing is terrible! He's able to isolate every single duel. They're not even reacting to the fact that he's down below on the site. And a 3v2 emerges. The Blade Storm out of Durka might just buy them back in, and indeed it does. An aggressive push, a big play, and an 8th round for FNATIC just about found.
Yeah, we finally see the double Ds of FNATIC actually coming up in combo because they've been a little Durka and Doma. Well, what did you think I meant?
Double duelists.
Oh, okay, of course.
I was just wondering because I was like, hey, they play double duelists a lot, you know?
Yeah, no, it's just
yeah.
to see them do so well in this round. A fantastic retake.
Here.
Something I always like to watch.
I'm trying real hard right now. I hope you know, I'm trying real hard to not say what I want to.
Okay.
We know what Tom likes to watch.
Say?
Double duelists.
Always.
Dome and Durka, whatever you want to call it. 12-8, 4 rounds between them. It's a big comeback for FNATIC. We know the hero players are there for Team Liquid at times. Those aces out of Scream. They're going to have to be so cautious as we move forward here on the FNATIC side. And well, Magnum, he's Not erring on the side of caution at all. Walking down, but Scream is ready. Solka's creeping up behind. Will completely blindside Boaster and even catch Durka. This could be it. Done and dusted for FNATIC. Doma needs to go absolutely nuclear, and he'll be shut down as well. Mystic's the last man alive. Spotted coming up behind. That Snakebite might do well to help him because he's only got a Spectre to play with, and realistically, you can't expect him to 1v4 at this stage.
Them in.
Oh, it's not looking good at all, is it? He'll have to go through his own Snakebite. Even on timing alone, this is going to be an impossible round, and I think with that, we can safely say that Liquid have locked this one down. Flank caught at least on Scream. Yampy going to try a little bit more, but he physically can't win the round anymore. It's so far gone as long as they don't just run at him, and they're buying the time. Look, Yampy's just playing with him right now. Running that clock all the way down, then taking him out for 13-8. The home ground of